He's a 10, but he still follows his ex. Nobody else existed before me. Y'all seen each other on the toilet. 0. I at least better have my nails, my elbow, the side of my face somewhere in that picture. He's a 10 but still uses Snapchat. -1, that's in the negatives. That's where you're keeping your host. He's a 10 but forgets to text good morning. He's a 10 but mansplains. So if that's the case, just break up with me here now. That's a 10 to me because me too. Hi to those choosing to watch my video. Today I'm going to be reading He's a 10 But and giving my personal rankings 1 through 10. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, 10 being, you know, they're attractive, they're a green flag. Anything closer to 1 or 1 means they're not attractive, that's a deal breaker, they're a red flag. They could be this really attractive person, but if they do these things, it could either not change things or it could change things. So definitely play along in the comments down below. And yes, I did impulsively last night cut some bangs on myself. I was having an identity crisis and was getting bored with how my hair looked. If I start playing with my hair and my bangs especially throughout this video, just know it's because I just got bangs, okay? I'm adjusting. It's been a while. Be sure to like and subscribe. We gotta support our small content creators out here. I honestly don't know what made me want to make this video out of nowhere. I don't know if you guys have been on that TikTok For You page of this show called, I don't know if this is what it's called, but it's pretty much like a reality show of people getting married to a mama's boy. And I was like, some of the clips I seen, I was like invested. I'm like, I kind of want to watch the show because I am flabbergasted, but also scared by how many mama's boys there are out there and the different like levels of a mama's boy. And also, I see a lot of people online going through breakups and situationships per usual in this generation. I mean, so I decided to kind of dabble into lighthearted things of dating. Without further ado, let's get into it. He's a 10 but doesn't floss, like ever. Now here's my thing. I am a big hygiene person, especially when I'm dating someone. Like, you need to at least be brushing your teeth, okay? So, you know, as long as they're brushing their teeth and they have nice teeth and everything else checks out, great. But here's my thing. I would be a hypocrite to say that, like, ooh, that's nasty, because hey, this is a safe space, right? I don't floss twice a day every day, so I would be a hypocrite to be like, ooh, that's nasty. I have my moments though where I am consistent in flossing twice a day, but then I start to not floss twice a day and it's like every other day. And before y'all come for me, y'all are dating, y'all be having corn on the cob, steak, and neither one of you flosses ever. So don't be switching up and pretending like that isn't you guys, okay? I'm a big hygiene person. Again, as long as they're brushing their teeth. But if it's obvious you got shit in your teeth, grab some floss and take that shit out. I'm serious. Like, if you know you have something that's really gonna be in your teeth, floss. Like, that's ridiculous. If you actually leave stuff in there, seeing it and knowing that it's in there and not trying to get it out, that's a whole other thing. But overall, I will give it, I'll give them a, as long as their teeth and breath aren't that bad from just brushing, I will give it I'll give it an 8. I'll give them an 8, okay? He's a 10 but never plans dates, just says whatever you want or you pick. Coming from someone who's also really indecisive, I've been trying to work on it though, but it's like, no, you can't say that to somebody who's indecisive. But you should not be saying that to your girl. Here and there, you both can be like, oh, I don't really know, but it shouldn't be one person always making the plans and wanting to go on dates. It should be both. You can alternate, work together, okay? But if you always say whatever you want, I don't know, you pick, all right, I'll go pick someone else then to be with me who's actually going to make initiative and effort to bring me out on dates. That's not something I would ever put up with, so I'm going to give them a 2 for that, because you can be the finest person on the planet, but if you have a nasty, ugly personality, you're automatically ugly to me. He's a 10, but he still follows his ex. First off, what do you mean you have an ex or exes? Nobody else existed before me. Okay? I personally don't see why you need to still be associated with your ex when you got so intimate and emotional with them. There's history there, no matter how long it's been and no matter how much you say, oh yeah, no, we're cool now. No, y'all slept together. Y'all saw each other butt ass naked. Y'all seen each other on the toilet. Even if it was somebody that you found attractive, I do not want you following, because it's just a respect thing, because that means there's still lust and temptation there, and that means that you don't see me as your forever keeping them around like that. The fuck? Oh, he's a 10 but still follows his ex. 0. Big fat, okay, let me not do that. Big fat 0. Cause like, I'm the best you're ever gonna have. I'm the baddest you're ever going to have. What could you possibly still want to be lingering and associating with your ex for? No. If you're still following her, just go get back together with her. Please. He's a 10 but never posts you. This is something that really irks me that a lot of people struggle with. There are some men out there who generally don't post, but it's like, now you do. If you have a girl, you letting people know. Alright, because the girls who've been following you, who you might have talked to or just been following out of being attracted to one another, if they don't ever see a woman there, they're always going to think that you're single. Now someone where it's like, you don't need to put it on blast. Private but not a secret. So even if you want to full on post a picture of me, I at least better have my nails, my elbow, the side of my face somewhere in that picture. Okay? Because if you're over here posting yourself in the mirror, you can post a picture with me. Okay? Let them know. You should be with someone you're proud to be with. Because yes, you could have a conversation, say you're first dating, and maybe they're not used to doing that or scared. You just have a conversation and maybe they continue to, but if it's a continuous thing where they never do, and y'all been together for a long time, no, I'm sorry, there's no possible excuse in the world to not show a little bit of that you're in a happy, healthy relationship, that you're with the love of your life. What happened to men being proud to be with their girlfriends? And that's not to like show them off in a way of like, you know, trophy wife, trophy girlfriend, but just to be like, I'm proud to say that I'm with the love of my life. This is an amazing person. Or even just making a post being like, this is the most beautiful woman I've been with. Gonna be the mother of my kids, my future wife. Since we all use social media in our phones, there's no excuse for that. That's gonna make me suspicious. At the end of the day, don't solely base your relationship on social media, but that is something to watch out for. And I'm gonna have to give you a 4 for that, buddy. That's a 4. This is a good one. He's a 10 but still uses Snapchat as his main source of communication. How old are we? Okay, I get maybe if you're still in middle school or high school, but once you get out of high school, I don't care if you're in college, you start doing grown folk shit, which is texting numbers as main communication. Okay, men back then who were yearning and can only mail stuff out and ride their horses to see you would be disappointed. That immediately, I'm sorry, -1. That's in the negatives. I don't use Snapchat anymore. The only reason why I still have that app is because of years worth of my Snap memories. That's it. Occasionally I'll go on it, but I don't go on there to like have conversations with people. That to me, people still use that as a way to be sneaky and to like have your hoes on there. That's where you're keeping your hoes. You may unfollow them on Instagram, but ooh, they are on your Snapchat. 100%, I'm telling you. Why are we going out and asking women for their snaps still before their number? That's a red flag. That is a red flag. No thank you. I'm immediately like, no. That says everything I need to know about you. I'm good. He's a 10 but chews way too loud. This goes for anyone, not even just a man. I personally, I don't know what that trigger is called. I generally think I have that trigger of when someone chews too loud in like a really quiet room. Like say we're in the living room or the kitchen and it's dead quiet and you're just like smacking hard as hell for no reason. Ooh, that's gonna make me want to punch you. Have some manners, you know what I mean? Even if you're at home. Like now I'm a big bag, so like yeah, sometimes food can be so good. But you know, it still has its limits where it's like clearly like you can close your mouth a little. Okay? There's no reason for me to be hearing every single crack from each individual tooth doing its work on the food that you're chewing on. Me personally, just because that actually does trigger me, that is going to be very low. I'm gonna give that like, no, that would irritate me if every time we hang out and you're chewing loud. I'm giving you a 2 for that. He's a 10 but still wears his socks with sandals. I don't really see anything wrong with that. I mean, we were socks with Crocs and Crocs without socks. I think if I'm being honest, I would prefer you to wear socks with your slides than no socks if you're leaving the house with them on. So for that, I'm gonna say you're still a 10. You're still a 10. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you have janky toes, hide them piggies, okay? Oh, this is a good one. He's a 10 but posts a gym mirror pic every day. If you want to send it directly to me and let your girl know, okay. But to let everyone see every single day, and maybe you're not doing it for women, maybe you just want to impress the bros, but then that makes me question which side you really leaning on. Like, you can keep that in your camera roll. And again, #1 supporter, so you can send that to me, okay? No need to constantly put it on your story every day. That just gives off cocky. You want attention. You want the ladies to know what you look like without clothes. Or maybe you are wearing clothes, but no. Gym rat men are red flags. No thank you. I'm gonna give him a 3 for that, because why do you feel the need to post that much? We're getting to some of the deeper ones, but he's a 10 but only shows affection when he wants to get physical, if you will. I think we all can agree that that is a 0. -0. Negative. Because, the only time you're gonna show affection, or even like say you want to compliment them, is because you want to get sexy. Like, it's one thing to start it out being that way, to like show that like you're in the mood, but the only time is because they want to, you know, get there. I think that also just tells you the type of person you're with. They only find you physically attractive and only care for that. And you shouldn't be with someone who is just sexualizing you. Well, yeah, I think that's just pretty self-explanatory first off. That's just really sad too. You know, you should have your man want to compliment you even with non-sexual things and the most beautiful things about yourself that aren't just your physical appearance. So again, for that, that is a big fat 0. Oh, and you thought you're still getting something? He's a 10 but forgets to text good morning. Here's my thing is, again, all these things, it really depends on everything else that they do. If they just happen to once in a while, that's okay. But if they never do, girl, I should be the first person you think of when you wake up. And be like, wow, I'm just so blessed, so happy to live another day, to breathe the same air as this woman, to kiss the ground that she walks on. If you don't feel that way about me, you should not be with me. It's really not that big of a deal, unless you just start not showing that effort to show that you think of me right when you wake up and want to text something before you get busy. So just for that, I'm going to give, that could be like a 7 to me, honestly. But if it's a situation where you're used to and now you're not, don't get too comfortable, buddy. Don't get too comfortable. He's a 10 but talks in his sleep. I'm a light sleeper, so I probably would not like that. Although I actually have had a friend who talked in their sleep. It was funny, but then it wasn't. Again, I'm a light sleeper, so that would really irritate me and probably wake me up every single time. So just for that reason, I'm gonna give him a 6 for that. I know people like that. I know people who have that issue. They can't really help it, but me personally, no thank you. If you do it once in a while, but if it's every single night, that's a 6. He's a 10, but mansplains everything to you. Because what we're not gonna do is act like I don't know things. What we're not gonna do is talk to me and belittle me and act like I don't have a brain of my own. I can't stand men who mansplain. They think they know everything and they think that you don't, and they have to explain things as if you're slow and don't understand things. Be with a man who won't make fun of you and mansplain to you when maybe you don't understand something or want to know more, or just having conversations. Because if you're gonna speak to me like I'm a child and like I don't know things, 0. To be fair, there are some men out there who do it, but not because they're an asshole, but they do have that tendency a little bit in them. But either way, I'm not putting up with that. He's a 10, but still using his parents' Netflix or streaming apps. I personally don't see anything wrong with that because I'm still under my mom's. It's hard times out here, okay? As long as they're working and having their own money and paying for other things, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's like if they have other things going, why are we, being like, oh my god, you can't pay for that? It's not that big of a deal. It's not like they're broke and they're being a bum. I'm gonna give that a 9 as long as they have other things going for themselves and they're making money. I'm gonna give that a 9. He's a 10 but drives a really beat up car. That's another one that's not bad to me. You have a car, it gets you to point A to point B. I'm not materialistic like that. I don't care if you don't have a Mercedes or an Audi, or as long as you have a car that's safe to drive and can get you to where you need to get to. That's amazing. There's some people out there who don't even have cars, you know what I mean? So it's just being able to get a car, even if it's used and beat up and old, that doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't for anyone. It shouldn't. So I'm gonna still keep you at a 10. He's a 10 but has no ambition or goals. Now, I feel like that's pretty obvious. I think that immediately makes you a 0 because what do you mean as a human being with a brain and a heart, you don't have any sort of ambition or goals or ideas of things that you like or want to do? It's okay to not have everything figured out and not know what you want to be yet, but you still should have ambition and want to make money and taking care of yourself and knowing that there are things that you want to achieve in life. Even if it's a job that you're not going to stay at forever, but it's just a way to make money. That I see as ambition. As long as they're working, great. But you should be able to have those conversations to be like, what are your ambitions? What are your goals? Even if they end up changing or if you don't have it all figured out. So just for that, I'm gonna give them a 1 for that. I by any means don't have everything figured out, but I do have ideas, thoughts, opinions, goals, and ambitions. And those are all things that people should have, even if you're feeling a little lost in life. My dog is in the room with me, so if you hear snoring, that's him. I really hope you guys can't hear in the background, but sometimes you do. But people who have dogs understand that you kind of just tune it out and get used to it, versus someone else where they're like, oh my god, what is that? He's a 10 but always says that's an ick when you do something. You can play around and say, ooh, that's an ick sometimes with things they do, but at the end of the day, if you really love them, you don't actually have icks. It also depends on your relationship. Some people say it to joke and tease, if you have the same sense of humor. But if they say it as in being serious, why are you picking things that you don't like about me and saying that they're icks? Do we need to reevaluate this relationship? Are you building resentment towards me? Because if that's the case, just break up with me here now. I'm thinking that's more of the case and not being silly. If you're being silly, nothing's wrong with that. But if you are being serious and it's every single day, that's just all you have to say, pointing things out that you don't like about me and saying that they're icks, I'm gonna give you a 1 for that. He's a 10 but randomly talks in a British accent. That's a 10 to me because me too. I love that. That means they have the same sense of humor as me. Also, I like to see if, you're better at it than me. I'm gonna say that's a 10. That's you pass. If you do it too, even better. And then our children will do it. I think this will be the last one, but he's a 10 but ignores you and acts like you're just a friend when you are with him around his friends. Some of these I feel like are very obvious and just immediate red flags and just 0, 0, 0, because you should be proud to be with me around your family, your friends, and just in public and not only when it's just us two. You shouldn't be embarrassed to me, be embarrassed to show that you're with someone who makes you happy and loves you and takes care of you and vice versa. And that's not me saying like, oh, be all lovey-dovey and do the baby voice to me around your friends, but like, I'm not one of your friends. Being next to me, being close to me, acknowledging me just shows respect towards me. Proud to have me around, you know, your favorite people, your friends, the people that also mean something to you. So for that, that's a 0. Be with someone who's happy and proud to be with you, not just when it's one-on-one. I think those are all for today's video, but if you enjoyed this and would like to see another one, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, be sure to comment down below your own personal rankings of these that were in this video. Also check out all my other socials, which are always in the description of my videos down below. Remember to be easy on yourselves and stay positive. Other than that, you guys will see me very, very soon. Bye!